Machine gunner from 38th Marine Brigade eliminates 2 Russian occupiers in Pokrovsk direction. As Russian forces push aggressively towards strategic cities and supply arteries, Ukrainian defenders are inflicting devastating losses through precise ambushes and close-quarters combat. In one of the most striking pieces of footage to emerge this week, an aerial reconnaissance team of the Ukrainian armed forces captured the lightning-fast work of a machine gunner from the 38th Separate Marine Brigade in the Pokrovsk sector in Donetsk region. Positioned in a well-concealed ambush spot, the Ukrainian defender waited as drone operators identified movement along a known enemy approach route. Within seconds, 2 Russian occupiers were eliminated. The first Russian soldier appeared in the open and was instantly cut down by a precise burst of machine gun fire. Moments later, a second occupier attempted to follow the same path. Unaware his comrade lay dead only meters ahead and met the same fate almost immediately. Further north, Ukraine's Special Operations Forces released helmet and drone camera footage of a daring reconnaissance and clearance mission at an industrial plant behind enemy lines in the Kupiansk sector. While conducting a low-altitude UAV flyover, operators spotted a Russian soldier camouflaged among rubble and debris. As soon as the occupant opened fire on the drone with small arms, Special Operations Forces operators transitioned seamlessly to strike mode. Precision-guided munitions from the UAV eliminated the threat in seconds, demonstrating once again the multi-role capability of modern Ukrainian drone teams. In a coordinated series of long-range strikes, Special Operations Forces drone units unleashed a wave of middle-strike heavy kamikaze drones against high-value targets directly supporting Russia's push on Pokrovsk. In the Pokrovsk city, a key enemy strongpoint inside an industrial facility, used by snipers and as a personnel staging area, was completely destroyed. In the Shakov village, the assembly area of assault groups from Russia's 336th Separate Marine Brigade, tasked with closing the encirclement ring around Pokrovsk, was obliterated. In the Sonsivka, a temporary deployment point and ammunition depot belonging to the strike UAV detachment of the 6th Guards Tank Regiment was hit and detonated. In the Dokuchayevsk, a large ammunition depot feeding the Pokrovsk offensive was destroyed in a massive secondary explosion. In the Rybinsk area, fortifications and warehouses of the logistics unit of the Russian Vostok Group were leveled.
Дайте туди МКшкою і збравненько, тільки бистро. Я один не бачу. Ще їх. Та добре, ще мають бути. Ну не один буде штурмувати.
Russian command has shifted considerable resources toward Myrnohrad, with clear intent to cut the last major overland connection between Myrnohrad and Pokrovsk. Analysts note that capturing or isolating this corridor would severely complicate Ukrainian defenses in the entire agglomeration. Russian assault groups are probing the northern outskirts of Myrnohrad around the clock, using small infantry teams supported by constant FPV drone correction. Units of the 7th Guards Air Assault Division of Russian Airborne Forces are holding back advances near Krasny Lyman and along the southern approaches. Ukrainian reinforcements, including elements of the 38th Separate Marine Brigade, have been rushed to bolster the city's southern and eastern defenses. Marines from the 38th Brigade captured 4 Russian stormtroopers during a failed infiltration attempt in northeast Myrnohrad. Interrogation revealed that 3 of the prisoners were former convicts recruited under Russia's controversial prison recruitment program. The detainees stated they had spent 4 days without food or water in a basement prior to the assault.
Задаю вопрос, даешь ответ. Гранаты. Какая-то хуйня есть с собой? Руки по бокам. Морды в пол. Руки по бокам. Вот еще один. 4-й. Сильно контужен. Будем сейчас его эвакуировать. Это Макс. Это я. Заебанная трусы пизда, вы не понимаете, как это. Авдеевка.
On the Zaporizhzhia axis, Russian forces continue a slow but persistent push toward Pokrovsk and are simultaneously attempting to bypass Stepnohirsk from the west using sabotage reconnaissance groups and suburban infiltration. Heavy urban combat persists. Russian troops have managed to advance from the Plavny area along the dried bed of the Kakhovka reservoir, inserting sabotage groups into the central districts. Ukrainian defenders continue to hold most of the village. In the Stepnohirsk remains under firm Ukrainian control. Russian forces have seized only a handful of multi-story buildings in the southern districts and have been unable to expand further. Repeated attempts to break through along the highway toward Myrnohrad have been repelled. West of Stepnohirsk, Russian infantry are risking high casualty dashes across open ground north of the seaside dacha zone in order to reach covered positions and trenches. Additional infiltration attempts through the western summer cottage belt are ongoing but meeting fierce resistance. Despite heavy losses, Russian command appears willing to accept attritional costs in an effort to tie down Ukrainian reserves and create new threats along the Dnipro River line.
Ти тримаєш Добре, красавчик. Все, дві вішки летить.
О, лежай, ти бачиш, у кругу.
Касету?
Давай.
Чи близько?
Ні, наші в укритті. Давай касету. Добре, давай.
Намалюй, в посадці був розрив. Зараз коригую сюди ближче. Давай, бігли, 3 штучки, работай,
Призумуй.
The Russian artillery losses have already surpassed the total for all of 2024, with more than a month still remaining in 2025. According to the latest report from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, released on November 2025, Ukrainian defenders have destroyed an astonishing 13,053 Russian artillery systems since January 2025, 3 more than the 13,050 systems eliminated throughout the entire previous year. These figures include towed artillery, self-propelled guns, multiple launch rocket systems, and heavy mortars, critical assets that Russia has struggled to replace amid Western sanctions and battlefield attrition. Ukrainian ingenuity in unmanned warfare reached new heights when a coordinated swarm of 4 heavy Vampire strike drones completely wiped out a Russian assault squad attempting to advance near the strategic town of Huliaipol in the Zaporizhzhia region. The video captures the Russian troops moving cautiously through open terrain when the first Vampire descends, dropping its explosive payload with pinpoint accuracy. Within seconds, the remaining 3 drones follow in rapid succession, delivering overlapping strikes that leave no survivor among the assault group. The Russians had zero opportunity to maneuver or retreat, demonstrating the overwhelming tactical advantage Ukraine now holds in drone-dominated warfare on this front.
Вітаю. Повітря.
Elite operators from the security service of Ukraine's Alpha Special Forces executed a series of high-impact strikes targeting critical Russian infrastructure and manpower concentrations in the Pokrovsk sector and temporarily occupied territories of Donetsk Oblast. Using advanced FP-2 kamikaze drones equipped with massive 105-kilogram warheads, the SBU teams successfully destroyed a fortified industrial tower in Pokrovsk, serving as a command and observation post for machine gun crews, snipers, and FPV drone operators, and multiple rear area depots storing enemy FPV drones, Zala reconnaissance UAVs, and Gerbera electronic warfare drones. The strikes not only eliminated dozens of trained specialists, but also deprived Russian forces of hundreds of ready-to-deploy drones, significantly degrading their reconnaissance and strike capabilities in the area. The SBU emphasized that such operations will continue relentlessly across all fronts until every occupier is driven from Ukrainian soil. In one of the most intense sectors of the Kharkiv region, volunteers from the Georgian National Legion, serving within the armed forces of Ukraine, captured 2 Russian infantrymen alive during a daring clearance operation near the heavily contested city of Vovchansk. Dramatic helmet cam footage shows a Georgian fighter confronting a wounded and disoriented Russian soldier at point-blank range, shouting in Russian, "If you want to live, speak. I'm Georgian. I don't give a fuck." After which both occupiers immediately surrendered without further resistance.
Откуда родом? Что здесь забыл? Я твою маму ебал. А, перед судом. Угу. Там точно никого нет? Сейчас, зараз, перестреляй, я грузин, мне похуй. Если хочешь жить, говори. Когда зашли?
Georgian fighters, known for their aggressive tactics and refusal to take prisoners when faced with resistance, the Georgians have earned a fearsome reputation on fronts such as Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and now Vovchansk. Their latest success further stabilizes Ukrainian positions in the area, where regular sweep operations continue to neutralize Russian sabotage reconnaissance groups and storm units.
Обережно, обережно. Не спішіть, вже нема куди спішити, все нормально.
Ну, блядь.